Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa, Comrade Jacob Zuma, honorable ministers here present, senior government officials, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends. May I begin by referring to your having mentioned that this is the time we remember our dear departed friend Oliver Tambo, who led the ANC and was in the same trenches with us as he did so. I remember Tambo as a great friend, outspoken, quite critical when he thought we needed criticism. I last visited him in London. He was now bedridden with his wife beside him. It was a miserable sight. I will never forget that one. He was a friend and ally. We are associated with in our struggle. Vibrant, outspoken, forward-going and never going backwards. But now the stroke had claimed him. He could recognize me, but no, he couldn't talk. And that saddened me, and I knew that his days were gone and sure. We had to bury him here. Later, we shall always remember him together as a freedom fighter who is a national hero, as we call those of our own who distinguished themselves in the fight against imperialism. So we remember him together. May his soul continue forever to rest in peace. Comrade President, I'm delighted to be here for the second session of our Binational Commission. I wish to thank you, Comrade President, and the people and government of South Africa for your fraternal welcome and wonderful hospitality. We are very comfortable at heart. When we come here, we know we are coming to our second home. Comrade President, it is often said that one can choose, have friends, but she cannot choose one's neighbors. Let me assure you that had we had a say in the choice of a neighbor, we still would have chosen you. We are one family because of our geography, of our history, of the revolutionary struggle that we fought side by side, and of course of culture and blood, totems and marriage. And we hope that these phenomena will continue to bind us forever. I'm pleased that we have chosen the path of cooperation, consultation, dialogue, engagement, and joint action in order to secure our common future. We meet today in that common spirit. Ever since we met at the inaugural session of our binational commission, much has been done to bring to fruition the decisions we took on that occasion. However, as you pointed out, more still needs to be done to reinforce the foundations of our strategic partnership. This strategic partnership is the instrument for achieving the profound transformation of our country's economies. Let us join hands and hearts, of course. Sometimes it goes beyond just that. When hand in hand we find ourselves in marriage, which is another way of furthering our togetherness and our oneness. But let us join hands and promote cross-border investments, facilitate joint ventures, and other linkages between the public and private entities of our countries. Since last year's Joint Commission, we have embarked on reforms aimed at facilitating the ease, as they say, of doing business. We should improve the local business environment as well as stimulate investment flows either way. Last year, I also announced our government's legislative proposals aimed at reinforcing and further expanding the economic reforms we are undertaking. These proposals, once passed into law, will reduce delays in the registration of new businesses. Legislation should also provide the legal underpinning to the one-stop shop investment center, to which you have already made reference, and open new investment opportunities in infrastructure, especially that of our airports, roads and railway systems, We are also set to sign agreements on cooperation in energy and information communications technologies. Once signed, the agreements will create yet more opportunities for closer cooperation between us in the key strategic and critical sectors for the transformation and development of our economies. And they talk of ICT with its cyber benefits and problems. I don't know whether you have discovered, as we have, after bitter lessons had been shown us, that there was abuse, unlimited abuse of our cyber technology by those who wanted to undermine our economies. And I think together we should look at how we can protect our economies from those who would want to destroy them using this ICT technology. We don't have the means yet, and I don't think you also have means or adequate means yet. But I am aware that some of our friends have the means. Let's try to borrow those means from them and protect our economies from subversion and leave it open for the interaction between us, investments that flow either way, and the need for development that has found us meeting here for the second time. As a second meeting after the one we held last year. But may I invite our respective public and private sectors not to miss out on the opportunities that we are trying to provide for them. Under your chairmanship, Comrade President, we look forward to further progress in the implementation of the regional industrialization strategy. In view of the rapid frequency in the occurrence of climate change, there is need to develop a regional approach to disaster preparedness. You made reference to the disaster by way of drought that visited us the year before last. But fortunately, just this last year, we were rewarded by ample rains, but also ample rains that come with that velocity and strength and leads to destruction of homes, to lands being flooded. They also bring disaster along the good that they bring along to enable our agriculture to prosper. So in both ways, on both sides, let us evolve those mechanisms of protecting ourselves from these disasters that have been evolved over time, and new ones or more to these ones can still be evolved. In December this year, Comrade President, your party, the African National Congress, will hold a Congress at which its future leadership will be elected. We're talking about the ANC now as compared to ANC yesterday. And so we wish the ANC every success at that Congress, so that it can continue into the future renewed and strengthened. I don't know what we would be if all that future stemming from 1914, is it? 12. From 1912 to the present is rendered into nothingness, torn apart by those who feel the ANC being the backbone of Africanism, and change, destruction of apartheid. Whether the future, even of ourselves, the neighbors, we derive our life from what happened in 1912, whether our future will be a prosperous one. Of course not. Here it was we learned our politics. Here it was also some of us got our learning and our degrees. Here it is that many of our folk have found incomes. Through employment, others entirely on their own, jumping the border, going to work on the farms, the good and the bad. And we've given you the trouble to sort out. Those amongst our people are well-meaning, and those others who don't mean well and need to be punished or sent back. Comrade President, let's work together as we have done before. And let me conclude by reminding our ministers that the Binational Commission is not a once-a-year scheduled encounter, such as the one we are having today. We are meeting to continue, and continue even when we are not meeting as summits of our binational commission, but the minister must continue to meet. The officials of the ministries must continue to meet. Above all, we must continue to think and think and think ahead, all of us. When our commission is not in session as it is now. And so it is and should be a constantly active forum for engagement and consultation, one always ready and available for our joint use. We look to the east, to the west, northwards and southwards, and we say to ourselves, the South, and only the South. Yes, frontline states. Yes, SADC. Yes, our parties. We fought the most devastating struggle. I will say struggle because it was one, whether it was here in South Africa or in Zimbabwe, on a joint basis that the struggle of one country was the struggle of another. True, Algeria had fought the French and de Gaulle, who had insisted that the rest of Africa, Francophone Africa, could get independence, but not Algeria, because it was part, as de Gaulle emphasized, it was part of France. Don't tell us of the existence of the Mediterranean Sea in between. No, because France had ruled that Algeria was part of itself, and that had to be accepted. And that is what Ben Bell and others refused to accept. Yes, we learned something from them, and I know our brother Mandela did go there, visit them because of their experience and because he wanted to have that secret training at holding arms, which he had before he returned here to get arrested. We are one. One people. One revolution. One struggle. One future. I thank you. These are just all guys, you all know them. Can I begin to stand up at